Hey, what's up, y'all? Like a new background. Welcome to Mocktail Monday. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully everyone can hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. Let's turn this up a notch. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I know it's good because I was already testing it earlier. So, anyways, let me pull up the agenda today. I kind of wanted to just do this every Monday, have a little fun with it. Hopefully both my kids are in bed. I'm on double dad duty tonight. I'm looking at my daughter on the camera. What's she doing? She's kind of staring up into the ceiling. I know my son's going to bed right now. So agenda-wise, gotta pull it up. Make this a little fun. I just thought about doing this the other day. I said, you know what? I want to do something new every day. So 5 things to discuss today. We got like an agenda kind of thing. Intro. I'm going to tell you all about what Mocktail Monday is to me. The mocktail of the week, which we'll introduce here in a minute. I got a quote, and I kind of did a teaser. Forget your kids' savings. I'm going to talk a little bit about what that means. Humble up, homies. And then we're going to do an outro, a couple sports predictions because I'm a big sports guy, and blessings, and talk about Thanksgiving a little bit. So let's get right into it. Intro. Essentially, Mocktail Monday to me is an idea that just was kind of a conversation. I wanted to go live. Basically introduce you to a new mocktail each week. Long story short, my kid's birthday a little over 2 years ago was my last alcoholic beverage. So basically that was on the 23rd. So literally it's been coming up on 25 months right now. So I had COVID over that Halloween and my birthday, which is the day before Halloween in 2021. It sucked. So I didn't feel good. So obviously I didn't drink for my immune system for a couple weeks. And then all of a sudden 17 days went by and I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it going. And ever since then, never touched a drop of alcohol. So I got a lot of cool mocktails that I'm going to introduce you to each week. Non-alcoholic beers, non-alcoholic wines. We're going to start with this one today. So I've drank a lot of their products. This one, it's called Untitled Art is the company. Cerveza con limón. So a lime non-alcoholic beer. Now, fun fact, you're like, well, that's got 0.5% in it. It's considered a non-alcoholic drink if it's either 1.4% or less, or maybe it's less than 1.4%. Fun fact. So some things, I drink Heineken Zeros too, and that has absolutely 0% in, and it tastes like a regular Heineken. It's like a regular Heineken. You can't tell the difference. This one. Wow, that is really good. Really refreshing. Probably be a little bit better in like the summer or warmer time. I'll give ratings too. Give me a second to rate that one on my Untapped app. You should check that out if you're a beer drinker. Untapped, TAPPD. It's a really great app. Everyone around the country, around the world rates their beers, and it's cool. This has got to talk about finances too, right? I mean, the purpose of this is to go live, but also to talk about financial things. And I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately. And basically that Ramit Sethi is one of the ones that my friend hooked me on recently. I've been listening to a lot of his stuff this week. And the one I was listening to this morning just like hit me. And let me read. And what I wrote was, it's time to forget your kids' savings. And he basically didn't really say it that way, but I actually just found the full quote here I wanted to read to you all. You know what? Let's take a picture here first because I'm not sure. Let's go live here. We're gotta do it on all platforms, right? Let's see what happens when you go live on here too. This is gonna be wild. It's gonna be probably wild. Oh wow. Right up front. We're gonna go live on Instagram too. Let's do it all. Recording. What's up, everyone? That's me. We're live on YouTube right now. You gotta come check us out. Live on YouTube. Let's see if I can. Oh, I do got. We're gonna flip this camera. Sorry about this real quick. Really cool. Let's do both of this and see if it'll screw it up. Let me see here. Sorry about my hand, everyone. We could just set daughter's camera. That's perfect. Welcome to live. Let's see if we can get it to stand up. Oh, you know what? We'll stay against the beer cam for now. That'll work. But we'll go get the let me go get the standing thing. I don't know where it is. I think it's over there somewhere. So we're live here, we're live there, and we're just talking about, it says we're telling more people you're live. Cool. We're on YouTube, we're on Instagram over here. I got one follower. What the heck does that mean? Who's this? Doesn't even say. On YouTube. Well, that's cool. It says one person has joined, but it doesn't show me who. Oh, that's top chat. I want to go live chat. Cool. Anyways, we're live and we're going back to Ramit Sethi, big financial guy. And basically, I said that the quote, I'll repeat it so everybody can hear it over here too, is basically forget your kids' savings. It was on the podcast this morning that I was listening to. And here's the quote. Let me read it right to you. I found it on Instagram. It literally says 90% of the parents who write me in asking about how to save for the kids' college fund don't have enough saved for themselves. The conversation always goes something like this. It goes, Ramit, how do I save for my kids? Well, I ask you, how old are you and what's your net worth? 46. I'm not really sure. Maybe 30 grand in a retirement account. So why save for your kids right now? What about you? Well, I don't know. I just don't want them to have college debt. Honestly, and what he was talking about here was the behind the scenes script is I've lost the game for myself, but I can't give up. I can win for my kids still. But the problem is, like he said, is they're still young, you guys, and they got a lot to look forward to. You do not, you know. And that really hit me this morning when I was listening to this live. It's just basically on his podcast. Kids have time, you know, and I'm not discouraging you about 529s and stuff like that. But, you know, I think that what we see often is in the financial world is I'm going to take out, or I'm going to put all this money to my kids, all this money to my kids, all this money to the kids. I'm going to pay their student loans. I'm going to pay them to go to college. I'm going to save for them for years and years and years and years and years and years. I'm going to pay for this. I'm going to pay for that. And then all of a sudden you get to adulthood. Well, I mean, you're already adulthood, but you know, you're 50 years old and you have no savings. You have no retirement because you spent all your money on your parents or on your kids. And I think that's what he's getting at is you got to remember about yourself. And too many people that I'm seeing and I'm coming across as well just aren't remembering about themselves. They're sitting there saving all this money or spending all this money, spend. Let's spend on our kids, spend on our kids. I screwed up, but my kid doesn't have to feel this way. But realistically, it's it doesn't have to be that way. You're saying you're giving up on your current debt situation, and that's not a good thing. It really is not. Let's talk about my shirt, by the way, for a minute. Let's talk about my shirt. I don't know if everyone can see this. Where's all my football people? Tecmo Super Bowl, touchdown Barry Sanders. This is my new Lion shirt. I don't like buying jerseys. I feel like I'm too old to buy a jersey. You know, that was cool. Like in your 20s, you buy all these people's jerseys and stuff like that. But I like buying shirts now because they last long. Like it's like how often do you wear a jersey during a big game? Maybe if you go to the game like a couple times a year. I mean, this shirt I can wear every week. Literally, it's awesome. I found it and it was really cheap too. I think it was like after tax $24.99, $24. Really cheap. It's awesome. But yeah, financially, it's just like we're not saving. It just really hit me, you know, when he said that. 90% of the people that call him in or write him in is saying basically, how much should I save for my kids' college? Long story short, what about yourself? What about yourself? What about you? What are you going to do about it? It's not time to give up just because you're 50 years old. I can tell you right now, I've had clients in the past. I'm working with people right now that they can't just give up. And they've overcome big debts. They were able to save, you know, working through some big things. You can't just give up and say, you know what, well, I'll just pour all my heart and soul into my kid, put all my money there. I mean, can you imagine? My big thing is, so I college savings for Tony, who's my son, who's 10 now. Kind of started one for a little daughter who's 3, but like I don't pour thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into it right now because we don't even know if he's going to go to college, right? We don't even know. It's wild. I mean, that's 7.5 years away. I mean, 8 years away. We don't even know. So we'll start it back up. We got a good start on his already, coming up in the next year or two or so. But I mean, I don't know. It's like, why not pay down debt if you don't know, five or 10 grand in a year, or maybe not that much, 3, 5, 7 grand a year to your kids' college fund. What could you be doing with all that? But you're sitting there with 20 or 30 grand in credit card debt. You know, that's the thought process on that. I'm going to move my live on Instagram for a minute here and take a sip of my non-alcoholic beer. Delicious. Very delicious. My fake background. It kind of looks real. I tried to unwrinkle. Who cares? Anyways, moving on. My next topic today is humble up, homies. Humble up. So we went live on the podcast over the weekend. Well, Friday. Well, yeah, we posted it Friday, me and my wife. The most recent thing, the money revelation. I'm going to drop that in the chat right now. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. The money revelation. The Money Revelation podcast. Did you hear that? The Money Revelation podcast. Everyone on Instagram. There's nobody joining my live right now. That's awesome. Thank you. What is it, Monday? I know it's a holiday week, y'all, but that means you're probably not working very hard. Let's be real. So humble up, homies. Humble up, homies. Basically, what that looks like is, to me, is me and my wife were talking about it, and we just basically said, you know, we're talking about the thing that it's okay to humble yourself down and admit you have a problem. And the biggest stressor I think I see in couples right now, because I'm mostly a couples coach, to be honest with you, and getting people on the same page, is they don't like talking about money. When things are difficult, they'll tell everybody else about it and say, you know, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. They love to talk about that. But when it comes to sitting down and admitting to your wife or admitting to your spouse, I screwed up with the A, B, or C. We have this debt. We don't have a good budget. You know, we're not making enough money. We're not like thinking about our bills. We're not doing everything right. It's very difficult. It's very hard to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. But we talked a little bit on our podcast the other day about how we can overcome that, you know, how we try and overcome that and how we sit down and say, We had a lot hit us this year. We have no emergency savings right now. I posted it. We had an AC furnace thing in March that sucked. We had some car work on Carrie's old car that we just traded in probably about a month or two ago. We had some car work. That was kind of unexpected. We had, what am I missing? I know I'm missing something. I talked about it the other day. We had a lot of expenses on the sledge coming on my floor 2 months ago, $500 there. We're starting to build back our emergency savings, but it's going to take a few months. Hope to God, pray. I know there's a lot of prayer people out there, a lot of Jesus people out there, right? A lot of Jesus people. Pray for us. Pray to God that nothing emergency happens in November and really December too. Let's get through Christmas and then we can move from there. There's like one or two people. There's two people that have joined my live on YouTube. Drop in the chat if you can. This is silly. I can't see who you are. There's two people in a row that just joined. Hello, whoever it is. It's just wild. I don't know. I'll have to look into this before next Monday because I want to know who's joining us. If you have any questions, drop it in. We're just doing kind of a live thing here. So yeah, I mean, you just got to humble yourself. You got to admit when something's wrong and you got to sit down with your partner. It shouldn't lead to divorce and marriage problems. And money is the number one thing that leads to all that. So if you sit down and say, we're unorganized, we can't get back on track. We have no freaking clue what we're doing. Just admit it, hit the dinger and say, hey, well, that means a financial person that can maybe get your lifestyle back in order, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's about it. That's it. Humble yourself up. I don't know if I'm frozen on Instagram, but I've never joined a live where at least one or two people don't pop in. And it's just been consistently like, it says we're telling more people that you're going live. I know it said that before, but it's like it almost froze. Okay, I'm going to have a drink of my non-alcoholic drink. Excuse me, Instagram. Wrap it up here kind of thing, but I am going to pull one more thing out because I want to talk about the picks. And let's talk about the holiday first. That's how we're going to outro it. So we're going to do this every Monday. Couple different topics. Holy moly, what did I just click on? But we got to make it fun too, right? What did I click on? NCAA football first? Is that what's up first? Technically, NFL is. So we're going to do some picks. Yes, I do picks. I do fantasy. I do stuff like that. You got to have some fun in life. So let's talk about Thanksgiving first, because I was going to say Thanksgiving is a time of rest, of family, good food. I'm going to make a very blunt statement. I don't eat anymore. I haven't eaten meat in like over 3 years. But turkey is the most overrated. Well, not the most. One of the top 2 or 3 overrated items on Thanksgiving menu. Turkey is it's a boring lunch meat. It's a boring meat. I'm going to argue it. Back when I was eating meat, I'd rather have a slice of ham, to be honest with you. Stuffing. And I was telling my wife about this last night, right? It must be what you grew up on, right? My wife was like, dude, potatoes, mashed potatoes was our thing. Like, I grew up on it. I'm okay with mashed potatoes. Like, let's do. No, you guys, everyone that's tried this growing up was like, this is the best stuffing. Give me the recipe. I don't know if I have the real recipe, but I'm going to make it for everyone this week. So I'm making the stuffing. I'm going to do my veggie sausage stuffing for myself. Stuffing's the bomb. And that's because I grew up on the bomb stuffing. My wife liked potatoes, I think stuffing, rolls, whatever, as long as you get them fresh, the rolls are rolls. Stuffing, and my wife makes a killer apple pie too. Apple pie, stuffing. I could just eat that, to be honest with you. The rolls are there, there's usually some vegetables. My brother's making some killer vegetables dishes, but like the meat. Oh, and then I have a vegetarian roast that is unbelievable. I'll post it later this week and talk about it. So yeah, I don't do alcohol. I don't do meat. I do very little dairy now in my life the last few years. So something about me that you guys might not have known. But yeah, that's a complicated statement. I could do without turkey. Well, even growing up, I was like, unless you coated it in gravy. I mean, it wasn't very good. Just my opinion. So here's how we're going to wrap it up. Take one more sip. Mocktail Mondays, episode 1. We're going to talk about football. We're going to talk a little bit about my local teams. We're Michigan. Lions are killing it. Unbelievable. I can't believe this is happening. We've been waiting our whole life to do this. Let's talk. Oh, we got Monday Night Football on right now while we're talking. 7-7, Eagles and Chiefs. What do we got here? Who's doing what? Gotta look for my football team, right? Swift. Yeah, the traded Swift. He's doing amazing, and that's okay. We got Dave Montgomery. We're doing great too, so who cares? I don't even remember who's on my fantasy team tonight. Me and Jimmy are fighting each other to the end for this week. I don't remember who I have. Oh, I got their running back. Okay, and Jim's got a couple guys. All right. Anyways, picks. We're gonna do a few picks this week because I love football. So shout out. Let's go right to Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go right to Thanksgiving. NFL, Lions. There's a couple other games. If it would just let me fast forward. All right, so we'll start with the beginning game. The home team, the Lions, the Packers. Guys, this is what do they got the spread at? 7.5. That means the Lions got to win by 7.5 points. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is going to be Detroit played absolute garbage. Played terrible yesterday. They squeaked out an unbelievable 4 minutes at the end. Something I've never seen probably. It was insane how many points they scored. It was awesome. Jared Goff, worst game of his career. He's not going to do that again. Lions are going to win. Thanksgiving. Ford Field's going to be a rock. And score prediction, guys. Oh, man, that 7.5 is tempting, right? I'm going to go out on a limb here. I don't think at home Dan Campbell is going to kick a field goal to save his life. I'm going to go Lions. I don't think it's going to be super high scoring, though. I think Lions 24, maybe kick one field goal, I guess. Lions 24, Packers 17. That's my prediction. Lions will not cover by 1/2 point. I think it's going to be a decent game still because all that. The next game, we'll go that. If you don't want to watch Commanders and Cowboys because it's the Cowboys and nobody likes them, and the Commanders stink. But at 4:30, the Commanders and Cowboys, Dallas 10.5 point favorites. I don't think Dallas, but I do think it'll be a weird score. I'm gonna go I'm gonna say 20. We'll say 27-16. They are gonna cover. I think it's gonna be a weird score. Cowboys will win 27-16. That's my prediction. Football. Also, during the day that day, guys, let's skip before we talk about the night game, and then we're going to talk about the big Michigan State game, or Michigan Ohio State. Sorry, guys. There's some basketball on Thanksgiving. My Spartans, my favorite team, is at 4:00. If you're like, forget that, Lions are done, or we just finished eating, or we're about to eat in a little bit. Michigan State, Arizona basketball. Going to be a rock star game. Arizona's really good, you guys. I'm nervous about my team. Michigan State, an ocean, to be honest with you, if they're pouring water in. I don't see a line on this yet. I don't think they're going to get blown out in basketball. I don't. I think they're going to be very competitive. I think Arizona's a really good team. I don't know I just don't think State's going to win it, unfortunately. I think it'll be a good game, though. But if you want to watch a lot of up and down and a lot of shooting, Arizona and Michigan State are going to try and score a lot. I can tell you that. Back to the NFL. This is just something we're going to do every week. I love football. I love college basketball. And my Pistons are dog meat right now. I can't believe just such a disappointment to the start of the year. And it's not looking good. So It's depressing. NFL. Let's go back to there was another game on Thursday. Oh, Niners Seahawks. A little interdivision battle. All right, what do they got here? I didn't even see this one. They got San Fran 6.5 on the road. See, I don't know. No, I think the Seahawks cover that. I think the Seahawks cover that spread on. I mean, I don't even know. Are most people even going to make it to 8:20 at night Eastern Standard Time on Thanksgiving? I'll be sleeping by then probably. Just all that food. So basically, I think the Seahawks are going to cover that spread 6.5. I think they will. I think it's going to be like a 24-20. Just wrapping up right now. I already talked about financial stuff, so you'll have to go back and watch it. We're talking sports now because it's my life basically after that. Kids, family, finances, sports. That's basically all I do. So now we're going to talk about Michigan, Ohio State, and I guess we'll talk about the Spartans. Ugh. Who didn't even play this week in Indiana? Oh, Penn State Friday night. I would laugh if they win that game. Michigan State, Penn State, they're 21-point underdogs. I doubt they're going to win it, but you know what? Just because I can't stand Penn State, and I think that James Franklin's one of the most overrated coaches of all time. He can never win the big games. I would laugh. I would like to break Penn State's heart. Penn State, Michigan State. I'm not even going to give you a score prediction. I don't think State's going to win. I don't think they're going to get blown out either, though. But, I mean, that's just my opinion. Home crowd at, Detroit because they moved it, but it was stupid. Michigan, Ohio State, guys. The first time in 5 years, I think it said, Michigan is favored by 3.5. Michigan's really good. They're really good. I mean, they could win it all this year. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be a battle. I'm not cheering for Michigan. I just think that they're cruising. I mean, they could easily. They got to prove someone wrong in the college football playoff game if they make it, though. They got to prove someone. They got to get to the championship at least. It's in Ann Arbor. It's not. I'm not doing this. I'm not even going to give you a score prediction. It's very hard in that rivalry to win 3 years in a row. I'm going to go look back in history, but history is not always right, especially with changing coaches and players and stuff like that. So that is the advantage for Ohio State there. But I really think that Michigan's got a lot more advantages all across the field in general. So it's going to be a very good game. I think this is going to be a phenomenal game, unlike the last two that have been kind of looked like they were going to be good and then all of a sudden lopsided. So for Michigan. So check that out. A lot of good football, a lot of good sports, as Lupe said over here. And yeah, this was fun. You'll have to go back and watch it if you didn't. Once again, I'm moving it. Once again, this is Untitled Art Cerveza con Limon. Mocktail Monday. That was a non-alcoholic beer. It's more of a summer beer. You can tell it's got a little lime in it. I'm going to give that, you can never give it, most of these, 4.5 or 5 out of 5 stars because they're non-alcoholic still. But the taste, the flavor, the hops in it, that one's really good. I'm going to give it a 3.75. Very good. Check it out. Untitled Art. They make a bunch of cool non-alcoholic beers and stuff like that. So have a good night, and hopefully this was fun for some people. I'm going to do it every Monday, introduce you a new mocktail. Maybe I'll mix it up instead of doing a non-alcoholic beer next week. I'll do a drink that my wife and I like to make. I'm going to drop some things in the chat. If you have any suggestions for conversations that you like to talk about, I will gladly go live and talk about that, whatever's on your mind, in the chat. And in the description, I will never need a compliment. We go back to that, right? You and your wife, you and your spouse say, hey, we need to humble up. We suck at this. If you need any help, I'm here to help. I am just here to help. MedalineFinancialCoaching.com. I'll drop the complimentary chat in the links in the comments. all my things. My podcast is already dropped here. The Money Revelation. Dropping that again. There. Awesome. This was fun. Thank you for enjoying my background. And we'll see you next time on I almost lost it. I don't know. I'm live.